There are massive federal programs that were instituted in the late 1970s that pay states trillions of dollars to tear families apart. Like in Texas, we get 66 cents on the dollar put into the Texas Treasury for every dollar of child support that's paid. So the state is now highly incentivized to issue the maximum amount of child support. That's why almost all divorces got 50-50 prior to the 1980s, and there was this skyrocketing of divorces where one parent loses custody, and that was to maximize Title IV-D reimbursements to the states. In Texas, it's $500 million to the Texas budget.
If the state is profiting off of child support?
Correct. And in most states, the Judicial Retirement Fund is funded from this money.
Government does not want you to know this.
If you get the woman out of the house and working, then you're going to increase the tax because girls are making more money now, and so they're taxed more, so the governments are making more money, and then you're killing two birds with one stone because now you're separating the man and the wife, so the man has less authority over the wife, and they're more separated, they're not as bonded, they're not as close together, and then you also send off your kids to school. So the family is separate, and when the family is independent, the family is not strong. They're easier to control, they're easier to manipulate, and the government makes more money off of it. So the idea of me working really hard, making a bunch of money, keeping my wife at home, keeping us close, and then she's with the kids, she's close to the kids, and she's programming the kids, the government does not like that because the government does not get to push what they want to my kids. For sure. They make less money because my wife doesn't work, and we're just stronger and more resilient towards them. They don't like that. So that's what I've heard.
I want you to think about this right here. If there was any, if government transparency was a reality, you would know about this. And the thing that puzzles me is how law enforcement officers can not know about this. Or the ones that do know about it, I don't know how they stay on the job. I guess they have to go through this because they're not immune from this child support. Child support, Title IV-D is human trafficking, authorized human trafficking, kidnapping, and extortion. And it is a big component of the prison industrial complex. It's one of the biggest cash cows the United States of corruption has. There's a whole bunch more to this. I put out in another video, but this is one of the most significant examples of it's evidence that there is no transparency in government. Because if every police officer knew that has children knew that this was what could happen to them, they would all quit the job today. And the ones that go through it, they can't quit the job because now they're tied into a fucking prison industrial complex scheme where if they don't pay, they go to jail. I mean, that simple. And there are so many, Title IV-E, that is the guidelines for domestic violence treatment and drug treatment and family counseling and all that stuff. If they give you any of that treatment, guess what? They don't get federal grant money, and you're not getting that treatment. I promise you ain't gonna get drug treatment, marriage counseling, any of that shit if you go to the family law court. Because the judge's retirement fund depends on this extortion.
Different topics that affect family.
I'm going to go ahead and stop her right there because she's coming from a don't want to lose her funding standpoint, and she's not giving you anywhere close to the right information here. Here we go. I'm going to add this to this video. My oldest daughter's mother, they kept giving the children back to her, relapse after relapse. They'd take the kids away in children's services and then give them right back to her once she passed one drug test. This is the pattern. And eventually, my mom, they kept giving temporary custody to my mom, and my mom brought my daughter down to Florida. I had moved to Florida because my child support was current, and they took my $1,300. This is in the early '80s. They took a $1,300 income tax check and wouldn't give it back. Who knows where that money went? So I moved to Florida. I'm like, you know what? Fuck this. I'll never pay income tax again. And I never paid income tax except for a couple of times when I was in business for myself. You have to, but fuck these people. They don't get no taxes out of me. I'm not funding your criminal enterprise. So anyways, not long after I got custody of my daughter Tanya, her mother killed herself. And then I got in another relationship, and my youngest daughter, they kept giving custody. My mom took custody, but they kept trying to give custody back to Mary. Every time she passed a couple of drug tests, they'd give Claudia back to her, and they do such criminal stuff. The child support, the family law court, and children's service. They're a criminal organization. And when you look into the Title 4D laws, it is authorized human trafficking, kidnapping, and human trafficking. And a lot of kids end up going in foster care and being sexually abused. They go into detention homes and all that stuff and get pimped out. I mean, this stuff is verifiable information you can find all over the internet. You just got to look for it and get the right search query, put the right words in, and you get any information. But this is how it works. You know, they give the money, they give the custody to the parent with the least chance of them doing any good for the child, so the judge can make fucking money for destroying the family. Period. You just heard it from several other people, and it's verifiable. You can look this up. Go read the Social Security Act of 1975, Title 4D and Title 4E.